My name is Drew Abbey. I am a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu under Rafael Lengi at Rio Jiu-Jitsu Lifestyle. So I have been training Jiu-Jitsu. I started in 2003 and really have been consistently doing Jiu-Jitsu over the last 10 years or so. I have a wife and two kids who are 3 and 5, and the 5-year-old trains here at Rio, and the 3-year-old comes and hangs out with my wife while we try to convince her to start training. I was first introduced to Jiu-Jitsu in 2003, so one of my best friends was super into watching Pride fights, and we saw Minotauro beat Bob Sapp, and so it was the little guy doing Jiu-Jitsu. He's not so little, but much smaller than Bob Sapp, beating this big Goliath. And after that, we really started we started getting into Jiu-Jitsu. So we were watching videos, reading books as much as you could in 2003, and just training in our gym hallway. And that sort of started it all. So I moved, 7 different states, and I've trained in almost all of those states. I've traveled all over the world, been able to do Jiu-Jitsu everywhere. And for me, how does that shape the coaching philosophy? I think we talk a lot about Rio, this lifestyle and having Jiu-Jitsu for everybody. And for me, it's made the world super small. It's provided a ton of different opportunities. And I want to use that to help people get excited, to build relationships and build a super cool network. It's a really fun, empowering, and exciting hobby, and it's a great part of my life. So one of the moments that has sort of exemplified or shown the impact of my coaching, and I think really something that is most moving and exciting for me to experience from a coaching perspective. One of my friends that we're doing some roles together, and he was struggling with a certain position. So we spent a few hours over a couple of different days as he was preparing for a tournament. And so we were working on that and trying different things during roles and having some dialogue and just some practice there. And so some time passed. It really wasn't that much of a topic after we worked on it for some hours. And then some weeks later, I got a text message with a video of him doing that position. And I think for me, what that was about is not so much what's my job as a coach to really make an impact. For me, it's really being able to connect with somebody, to be able to have this open, transparent dialogue, try something, share something that maybe I don't necessarily feel that I'm expert in, but somebody might be less expert or experienced than me. And so I think that's really highlights what's cool about Jiu-Jitsu, is we can share things that maybe we don't always feel confident, but maybe we are better or more equipped than somebody else. And it doesn't matter what belt you are, it doesn't matter if you're the instructor, if you're just participating in the class, there's always something to learn, there's always something to glean. And I think for me, that's been a real impact, is if somebody has a question, it shapes how do I answer it, how much time do I spend on it, and how engaged do I get with that person. What are some qualities that I think are important for everybody who does Jiu-Jitsu or any Jiu-Jitsu practitioner? And I think for me, the 2 words that most immediately come to mind are curiosity and this idea of stick-tuitive-ness, which might not be a real word, but I heard somebody smart say it one time, so I'll stick with it. And I think for me, why is that important? I think 1, curiosity drives learning, it drives thinking, it drives problem solving, it drives question asking, and it opens our boundaries in our minds to different ideas. And I think for us, Jiu-Jitsu is definitely a puzzle or problem that needs to be solved, and it could be simple, it could be super complex, but there's always something that's there. On the other side is Jiu-Jitsu is really, I think, about showing up, right? So we're never having a bad day if we're coming to Jiu-Jitsu, because maybe we get only 1/10% better, but being here is either helping us stay in shape, it's helping us learn a new position, it's helping us learn a new detail. I think for me, why is curiosity, why is this stick-to-itiveness important, is we have a lot of times when something could be super simple, where, I don't know, maybe we're learning a new basic in a fundamentals class, a movement, like a shrimp or a front roll or something like that. And one thing that could happen is, I just don't know how to do this, and I stop. It's not for me, Jiu-Jitsu is not for me because it's difficult. The other side of that is, if I just keep showing up, it might be hard today, tomorrow, and the next day, but next week I'll be excellent at it. The 3 weeks from now, I'll be able to show somebody how to do this. And I think for me, that could be a shrimp, that could be I don't know, a berimbolo or a fancy move that somebody wants to do. For me, it's all about we stick to it, we keep showing up, we ask questions, and we put ourselves in a position that allows us to be better tomorrow than we were today just by showing up and being present. And I think for me, that's allowed me to continue like on my journey. I have, I would say, like meandered a little bit over time through jiu-jitsu, but what's always kept me back is like, I just want to get I want to learn this one thing. I want to get 1% better at this one move. I want to learn how to do something I wasn't able to do for the last 6 months. And being able to stick to it, to be curious about how to solve the problems that we're facing, I think is super important, and I think we can take it all sorts of different places in life.